It is that time. Johnny on the spot. I know you love this, right?
Yeah, how could you not?
I just love it. I laugh every time we see that. It's perfect. It's perfect. All right. So that got us thinking, right? 2020 has not been the greatest year. It's been challenging. We're going to include that, though. We're going to look back on the last 2 decades, because it has been 20 years for the turn of the century here. So let's go back through and pick some of the best or most impressive teams during the last 20 years. You down for that?
I am. It's great, because I played the first half of this 20-year segment.
Baby.
I was in the league,
All
so
right.
we'll see.
How about the most complete team since 2000? Y2K, when everything went
surprise some
haywire.
people, because I'm going to pick a team that didn't actually win the Stanley Cup. The 05-06 Hall of Fame Red Wings, we're going to call them. The team that just had so many great players.
It was a video game.
They're a nightmare to play against. You knew when you went in to play against the Red Wings, okay, we're going to lose probably 4-1.
We're down 4-0 pulling up to the
We're probably going to have 14 shots for. They're probably going to have about 38 for themselves, and you're just going to end up chasing the game. And, you know, Zetterberg and Datsuk were younger, but Eisman and Chelios and like all these great players, they just put it on team. And just no let up. They're right up there. Second in goals against, power play, you name it. And just the experience and the names on that team. And it's not like they were just, you know, the older players that couldn't play. They were still players that were really
Hall of
good.
Famers.
A ton of them.
What was your record that year against them? I don't know if
Not
can
good.
pull them up.
05-06, not good. Hopefully, I don't know what team I was playing for. If that was the Coyotes, probably 0-4.
Oh, all right. Probably a lot of teams.
Yeah, we weren't alone. Yeah, they put up 124 points that year.
All right. How about the best defensive team since the year 2000? Who fits that bill?
I don't even like talking about them. Your New Jersey Devils. The 02-03 team. They just were suffocating. Starts with Marty Brodeur at net. Played almost every single game. Could play the puck better than anyone else. Then you mix in their defense with Niedermeyer and with Scott Stevens, our own Ken Danico playing in that. They just gave you absolutely nothing. And then even their best players were awesome defensively. And they just had no room, no life. And they didn't care. They'd outweigh you. They'd never break. They'd never cheat. They would just suffocate you to death playing on the ice. And that's how they found their success in those early 2000s. And that team was probably as good as anyone we've seen playing defensive hockey. All
right, a lot of people will argue maybe not the most exciting brand of hockey, but guess what? It got done.
They liked it.
Exactly. And don't tell that to Dano, because he will argue tooth and nail against that. How about the most exciting team to watch in the last 2 decades?
I'm going the 09-10 Washington Capitals, when Ovi and Backstrom were flying around under Bruce Boudreau. This is when they were all offense all the time and just scoring goals. We're going to outscore you. And they were scoring more than 4 a game in an era where goalies were good, systems were good, and it wasn't easy to get 3, and they were getting 4 per. Nicky Backstrom was incredible. Alex Semin. They had so many offensive threats, and their entire mindset was about scoring. We don't care if we give up 4, we're going to get 5.
313.
Just a quick 313. It's amazing in that era, with the degree of checking and goaltending, that they were able to score at that volume. And again, the way the Devils' mindset, we're going to beat you with defense. That Washington team, those years, we're going to beat you with scoring.
Yeah.
We're going to outscore you every single time.
We'll put up 9 a game.
We don't worry about any of the other stuff. We're just going to outscore you.
How about the most gritty? What is the grittiest team? And define that.
Gritty's not just fights, although maybe back earlier in the 2000s.
Or
there
a mascot.
An element of that. But gritty is kind of like general physicality. And throughout your lineup, everyone plays hard. Everyone hits.
Yeah, they got jam.
Everyone's kind of in on the face wash. Everyone, you know, the game gets kind of chippy or emotional. That team gets better. Those players get better. So I'm taking the 06-07 Anaheim Ducks. And, you know, they Chris Pronger on the back end. They had a whole bunch of players that Francois Beauchemin was super tough. Remember that famous 4th line with Travis Mullen and Sammy Paulson. They had a lot of good players who just loved to scrum it up. And Brian Burke was in charge of them at the time.
Sean Thornton was on that team.
Yeah, they had, and they took it all the way for Stanley Cup. And beating Ottawa, a very different, skilled kind of team. They had a ton of penalty minutes, so the fighting was there as well. But just they love to check you and be physical and be kind of a little chippy, a little dirty, take some penalties if they have to, because that was their identity. And it was from the best players on the team all the way down to the 20th guy on the roster. That's how they played.
All right, the grittiest, they get the cup that year. Yeah. How about the team over the last 20 years that should have won the cup, could have won the cup, didn't win the cup?
So I'm going to pick a couple-year window here, and I'm going to say the Vancouver Canucks. That kind of 9, 10, 11 sequence where they were the best team in the league. We know they lost Game 7 at home to Boston when they made it to the Stanley Cup final and lost it badly. Congratulations to the Bruins for it. But just that team was so good, and we love the way that they played offense and creative, and the Sedins and Kessler and Luongo and all of that. And they were the best team, and they took it all the way to home ice in Game 7. We're not able to get it done. And you look at where they finished 2 years in a row, best team in the league, huge goal differentials, strong in every aspect of the game, and played, I think, the kind of style that you'd like to have success in the league. You want teams to try to emulate the way the Canucks were playing then, because they did everything really, really well. And it was unfortunate for the Canucks and maybe for Canada, because they were probably Canada's best shot in a long, long time.
Yeah, haven't won since 1993, Montreal. Last but not least, redemption team since the year 2000. So the Canucks didn't win it. What about the team that finally got back
I'm
the
going
Stanley's Cup
this year, 2020, Tampa Bay Lightning, because you think about one of the greatest regular seasons in the history of the game, and certainly in the history of the last 20 years, was last year. They ran away with it and were upset, swept in the first round by Columbus. Swept JMO coming off a monster year and all those expectations, and it was over before it even got going. And so to take that crushing, brutal, devastating loss, I mean, it would haunt you forever if you were not able to bounce back and get something done.
It's all gone now.
All gone. Starts with beating Columbus in the first round.
Yeah.
Take the team that upset you and say, you know what? Out the door you go. We're a different team. We're
How big was
the
5 overtime game, though?
It was everything.
If they lose that one.
The fact that the way they played, the patience, the discipline, and the fact that they won it, that started them off on this ball rolling. So I think the redemption team, the bounce-back team was Tampa, coming back after one of the greatest years we've ever seen and losing the first round. Next year, taking it all the way through and getting the Stanley Cup.
All right, well done. I'll see you back here in 2030.